it was an independent film that cannot get any more independent. It was like everything, start to finish, had to be done. Like I was telling you, even this, when I took the film for censors, there used to be reels there. So I had to carry 20 kilos of reels myself, got off the taxi. I didn't have any support. I had to go take it up to the screening hall, put it there, and, have them watch it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 8. My name is Sanjay Chakrabarti. I am the founder of Tag8. If you haven't watched Toolsidas Junior as yet on Netflix, my strong recommendation is stop watching this video right now. Go watch Toolsidas Junior. I can assure you, you will not only spending that 10 minutes that you would have otherwise spent watching this video, you would actually watch the entire video and then come back and watch this video as well. It's that great a movie. And I'm absolutely delighted to have with me Mridul Toolsidas Junior, who is the writer and director of the movie. Mridul, thank you so much for coming into the show. I'm sure, the way you're getting accolades and reception for the movie, it must be a very, very tight schedule for you right now. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Tag8. I'm very happy to speak to you. Looking forward.
Mridul, let me get to the first question directly. Who is Mridul? One breath.
I'm someone who's, completely focused on two things, which is my family and films. My entire life revolves around these two, and it keeps me busy. It keeps me busy 24/7.
Super. Mridul, second question again, one breath. Tell us something about your work.
I'm essentially a writer and I'm a director. I also I'm a kind of a co-producer, and if I have to tell you my body of work, I started when I landed in Bombay, I did whole hoard of things. Of course, there was no I had already spent too much time doing chartered accountancy and studying for my MBA, and so I was already 24 by the time I reached Bombay, and there was no time for film school. There was no time for assisting someone for long. I wanted to make a film because Santosh Sivan, who's a prolific cinematographer, he had told me the best option is to make a film. If you make a film, you will learn how to make a film. So I really liked what he said, and I worked in Dreams Unlimited, which is Shah Rukh Khan's company. Back then it was called Dreams Unlimited. Now it's Red Chillies. So I worked there as in the production direction team for a while. I worked on Mehuna, on Chalte Chalte. So I assisted in tidbits everywhere. I also assisted the great Rajkumar Hirani for a bit on the Munna Bhai series, and I got the fine opportunity to work with him. Be part of all those conversations he used to have with Abhijat Joshi on Skype calls while Abhijat was in America. So these were great learning experiences for me. So I just put all this in my bag and I took off and made a film called Missed Call. Of course, I didn't have a budget for it. I only had 25 lakhs, which was given to me by a private banker. And I went ahead and made that film. And to tell you honestly, I had to do every single thing on that film. Right from everything, I had to make my home the office, and it was an independent film that cannot get any more independent. It was like everything, start to finish, had to be done. Like I was telling you, even when I took the film for censors, there used to be reels there. So I had to carry 20 kilos of reels myself. Got off the taxi. I didn't have any support. I had to go take it up to the screening hall, put it there, and have them watch it. So that was a great experience because, I was not making a film. I was learning how to make a film. And it's very interesting. The film is about that. It is about a boy who's making a film on himself and how he doesn't get support from his family, and finally he ends up making a film on himself. So that was a great experience because, ultimately that film became the opening film in the Panorama section at IFFI Goa in 2006. And it went to the Cannes Film Festival, which was the greatest honor. I had a dream to work with people like Mani Ratnam Saab and Rajkumar Hirani sir, Rituparno Ghosh from Calcutta. These are the people I wanted to work with. And here I was, I had made my first film and I was walking the red carpet with them. Because that very year, Missed Call went and there was Guru by Mani Ratnam and there was Lage Rao Munna Bhai by Rajkumar Hirani and there was Doshar by Rituparno Ghosh. I was walking the red carpet with them. So I had, it was a dream come true. It was unbelievable. Of course, after that, I got married and I had children and responsibilities came. I had always run away from doing a job and left my whole corporate dream back then. But then, that's how, never say never. I had to, join corporate. I joined Star and I was working in the content engine for Star Plus. Of course, it was kind of my field. It was television, so it was a good experience. I learned a lot of things about how television works. So that went on till 2015. So basically, when my daughter was born, I got into a job, and then in 2014 towards the end, when my son was born, I left my job. I was back to pursuing my dream of making my next film, and then I had this dream film, Toolsidas Junior. And I wanted to make this film at any cost. I got a lot of offers to make all kinds of things like romantic comedies and everything, but I wanted to make this film. This was it. And of course, in between, I wrote a few films. I worked on a cult Konkani film, Goa-based film called Nachoa Kumpasar. I wrote the screenplay for that won 3 national awards. And I wrote Everest, a TV show for Ashutosh Gowarikar Productions. And but then, it all boiled down to this one film. I wanted to make Toolsidas Junior. That's it. That was like, I don't know, people talk about bucket list and all that. That was the only thing in my bucket. I only just wanted to make that film. And now today, finally it's out and you've seen it. And, it's a great
I wanted to get from you, that one learning that you've had in this whole journey.
See, first I'll answer your first part of your question. It's like, how did suddenly, studying and, invested for so many years into education and suddenly, jumping onto filmmaking. That's a very huge leap. And especially if you're doing very well and potentially going to do very well and make a lot of money in the field you're already in, and you just leave it and go into a new field where you have nothing, you have no knowledge. So, it all actually, honestly, it started with, I had, one group of CA left and CA final left. I was studying with Gautam Khandewal and gang. I had never stepped out of my home, my comfort zone. So I moved to, St. George's Terrace, 1 hour away from my house, and we 8 or 9 guys got together, left our homes, and we were studying together for CA. We got together for a month. Now, of course, my mind had already started switching off from this whole studies and from this whole CA and corporate job route. And while all these other 8 guys were studying, I would be fooling around. I would be making sketches. I would be making jokes. I would be fooling around with them. I still remember. I've always been I'm not it, but I always used to be up till 4 in the morning. I'm a night person. I work at night. I write at night. I do anything at night. So I used to stay awake till 4, and Gautam Khandewal used to wake up at 4 in the morning. So that's the only time in the day we met properly, at 4.
Right.
So, and then we used to have chat about life, and Gautam is an amazing guy, and he's wacko. He was also kind of always giving that vibes. I want to leave all this. What are we doing? I want to do social service. I want to, start a school in a village. So he was in that mode. You won't find people like that. I still remember 2 weeks before the exam, final exam. This is CA finals. He gave me a book, and he said, "Yeah, Midi, just read this. I think you'll enjoy this." He gave me Alchemist. And I read that book. And it flipped my mind. And it completely, gave me a new perspective. I was like, oh man, what am I doing? I shouldn't be here. But then it's very difficult. It's huge pressure to leave. So I did give my CA exam. I left for my MBA. all that but the seed had been sown, somewhere. And then, I'll tell you the tipping point was, I was in my MBA, you have these reunions, where ex-students come down.
Yeah.
So I was there for the reunion and all these ex-students came down, all wearing suits and, giving their business cards. And I'm taking their business cards and I'm thinking, man, am I going to be doing this every year after year? Is this going to be my life? Okay, lots of money, but so it shook me up. And see, somewhere you have to look very deep. Some people are fortunate who manage to look inside. I started judging what are my real talents. Now, my real talents were what? My real talents were in classroom, during breaks. Everyone used to assemble around my desk, and I used to play with the sharpener, ruler, rubber, and make them laugh. I used to enact some stupid things and jokes, and I used to make them laugh. I used to sketch very well. I used to paint. I used to make portraits. That was my talent. I was a good dancer, apparently. So I represented school in dance. I was very good in karate. I went all the way, up to black belt. So I just realized, these little talents are basically, they can all come together. I should be in the creative field. I should be making maybe films. And I was always very attached to films because my father and me were extremely close. He used to take me for first day, first shows when I was 8-9 years old. From then on, so I still remember we went to Priya Cinema for it was Menoka for Kayamat Se Kayamat Tak, back in the day. And I'll never forget, we were in the last row, and when Amir Khan puts the khanjar in his tummy, I got up and I was like, Dad, what ye kya kar diya? My father told me, I'll explain it to you what happened. I said, hey, but this is
right.
This can't happen. So he calmed me down. He later explained, this is all pretty.
Right.
They're making a film. This guy is alive. He's enjoying the success of this film. So I was like, man, is this possible? I mean, you can really create a world out of nothing, and create a fictional world. So then, I put all these things together that night of the reunion, and everything came together, and I was like, I want to make films. It'll just be like that. Sharpener and rubber will be actors, and I'll be directing them. And I'll use all the things that I've learned in my own way, and let's give it a shot. And I landed in Bombay.
I can understand a missed call. I can understand a missed call, everything around it. But how do you make Toolsidas Junior happen? It's not a small movie, and it's not like a small movie that has suddenly become big and got the attention of people, because it's made by T-Series and Ashutosh Gowarikar. It has Sanjay Dutt in the movie as well, and some of the other real star performers are there. So how do you come out and really sell that at a commercial level?
See, one thing for sure, when I had written this script, and when I read my script, I knew this was a commercial film. See, commercial is a very vague word, honestly. It's especially in cinema. What is commercial? What is not commercial? You only come to know when the film releases. Does the film do well? Does it get money back to the producers? Does it get surplus to the producers? Oh yeah, this was a commercial film. So, these are all, it's a very gray area. So I'll tell you, my process, once I wrote the script, I went about, because, this script was so special, I went knocking on the doors of many producers. Big producers, all corporates, everybody. Now I knew that when I used to narrate this film, it used to have a very good impact. In fact, in some corporate houses, some of the head honchos started crying hearing this film. But when it came to making the film, there were some very, aspects which were pulling it back, which even you and you will understand that. First of all, my protagonist was a 13-year-old boy. Now, nobody makes a film with a hero who is 13. So, I did get suggestions. Why don't we make him 18, 19 and get a young hero? I said, not happening. It's not possible. Then I had a sport like snooker. I mean, if you go around pitching a film with football or cricket, becomes easier. Wrestling becomes easier. Action and boxing becomes easier. Snooker, they're like, what? How are you going to make a film on snooker, man? Sport change karo. So I was like, I'm sorry, but that is not happening. I mean, it has to be this film. It has to be this story. Nothing can change. I'm very sorry. So my film didn't get made. For almost 2 years, I ran from door to door. But Sanjay, ultimately, I'm sure it's everywhere else also, especially in the film industry, you need one believer. You need one person who believes in you and who has the wherewithal to get things done. Now, that person came in the roop of Ashutosh Gowarikar sir. The moment I narrated to him, in half an hour, 45 minutes, I gave him a narration, and he was like, I'm doing this film. I asked him very innocently, sir, the kid will remain 13. He said, he will remain 13. It'll stay snooker. He said, of course it will stay snooker. I love it that it's snooker. It's not done before. And the third question he asked me, so he realized, who's the star of the film? The kid and all is there. Who's the star? The star is Salam Bhai. He said, who do you want as Salam Bhai? Now, I had my longest running dream to have Sanjay Dutt. So I was like, man, Sanjay Dutt. So I said, sir, Sanjay Dutt. He picked up the phone right then, called Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay, एक बहुत अच्छी script आई है, सुनना है? 2 days में I narrated to Sanjay Dutt, and in 2 days Sanjay Dutt said yes.
Wow!
Right there on the table. So a dream which I lived on for years happened in a span of 48 hours. It was locked. I got my producer, I got my star actor, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
Before I let you go, where do you see yourself 8 months from now, and where do you see yourself 8 years from now?
See, 8 months from now is still an easier question. I'm hoping 8 months from now I'll be making my next film. I'll be into it as life goes on. And 8 years from now, when you ask me 8 years from now, I immediately think of how old will my daughter be? She'll be 19. How old will my son be? He'll be 15. So then I'm thinking, oh God, they'll be in that age where I won't be able to, keep them in my clutches. They'll be free and flying. So I'm hoping 8 years later, I'll be even busier making, more films and, doing more of writing. And because right now I try to keep that balance of spending a lot of time with my children, because they, mean the world to me. And, but yeah, 8 years later, man, I'm hoping I've made a few more films, and then maybe we can have a chat again and see whether it went as per plan.
Super, that's really great. Mridul, thanks so much for coming in, and we haven't known each other that well. We've kind of known each other for a short span of time. But the moment I saw the movie, and I don't want to be it to be a spoiler per se for people who are going to go and watch the movie now. But this movie is on you, which I think is not a spoiler because there's lots in there. But yeah, I mean, just watching the movie, I knew I would love to kind of get you here. And it's been amazing in that short span that I've known you. It's really, really good to see the world from your perspective. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up soon. Take care.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sanjay, and all the best to Tag 8. I hope you do many, many more lovely interviews and share this insight with the rest of the world. And it's still due for me to talk to your daughter, because I'm ensuring I don't miss a single child who's seen the film, because there are lots of kids who are seeing it many times, and I want to hear what they think. I mean, so we're going to have that.
We'll have that in meeting in person now. I mean, I've kind of told her that we'll figure out a way to do that. So that'll happen very shortly. I'll reach out to you on that.
Great. Thank you so much.